Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and I'm excited. We are going to be able to finish our games today. Like today, or not today. I mean, you're going to work on it for a couple of weeks. I'm going to show you a couple of things so that you can finish your games, but we're really close. Okay. As a review, this is what we've done so far. If my game will now, Unity's being sassy with me. It doesn't want to. There we go. So we have a camera follow script. We have our main character that is animated. We have a parallaxing script where the background is moving in relation to our main character. So we have some good stuff going on here, but we want to add some stuff. We want to add some things. Let's talk about collectibles. Collectibles are going to be a huge part of your game. Let's talk about how to implement those collectibles. So I'm going to go to my desktop. There we go. And I'm going to go to my Lonely Robot assets and go to my sprites. And I'm going to bring in my pickup collectible. Now, your collectibles are most likely, hopefully, going to have some kind of an animation. That way they can be easy to spot in the game, right? So I have an animation here for my collectibles. It's going to be a very simple animation. Let's set it to 32 pixels per unit. Let's turn off the filter and let's turn off the compression. Now I want to change to multiple sprite mode. Go to sprite editor, slice it, and we're going to do it by cell size. And it's 32 by 32. And we'll hit slice and apply. Okay, so now what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to grab all of these frames together and drop them into my game. It's going to ask me, what do you want to call this animation? And I'll call it battery. Okay, now when I go into the game, I can see my battery animation working. Maybe it's a little too fast. So let's go into the animator, go to my battery animation, and let's slow it down, make it 0.7. See what that looks like. Much better. I like that. Okay, so now my battery object is going to need some components, right? What I really need is I need a collider. I'm going to add a box collider. Okay. And I am going to pretty much leave that alone. That's all I need. What I can do now is in my character controller script, let's go open that up. Now this is all stuff we've done before, by the way. We've done collecting. We've done all that stuff before. All right, so in my character controller script, I have an update. I have a ground check method. I need an on collision enter method. So void on collision enter 2D. All right. And I want to say if, actually, before I do this, I want to tag my pickup as, I'm just going to call it something new, rename. I'm going to call it battery. I'm going to tag it as a collectible. Collectible, save. And we'll come in here, tag it as a collectible. All right. So then we'll go back to my script. All right. So if collision dot tag, can I just do that? Nope. It has to be game object dot tag. There we go. Equals collectible. Then I want to, let's create a variable. I'm going to call mine batteries so I know how many I've picked up, and we'll set it equal to 0 at the beginning. Then we'll say batteries plus plus. Yeah, batteries plus plus. Then dot game object dot set active false. Basically what that's going to do is it's going to turn my battery off. And you know what? I'm going to make this a public just for now so that I can see it in the editor. Perfect. All right. Hello. Okay, let's go to my main character. Where are we? There we go, player. So I have 0 batteries. When I run over this battery, notice that it goes away and my battery count goes up by 1. That's basic collecting of objects. Now, obviously in here, I could do all kinds of other things like add a sound effect, update the user interface so that the user interface changes, which we've done that last term. Go back and review those lessons so that you can learn that part. All right, so that's all pretty easy to do. So I have basic battery collection. Now what I would want to do here, now that my battery is set up, I'm going to create a new folder called Prefabs and put my battery into it, making it a battery prefabricated object, right? So then now I can add more to my scene so that I have, more batteries. So maybe I need 5 batteries to run the machine at the end of the game. So let's talk about running the machine at the end of the game or finding your end game goal, right? Let's grab my sprites. Let's bring in my end goal sprite. And let's set it up. 32 pixels per unit. Turn off my filter, turn off my compression and hit apply. Change it to multiple, hit apply, sprite editor. Let's slice this baby up and it's going to be grid by cell size and this will be 32 on the X, 64 on the Y. Nope, that is not it. I made this much bigger than I thought. Let's just do automatic. There we go. That'll work. That works fine. Okay. Now, the way my game is going to work is my end machine here is going to have a red readout unless you've picked up all of the batteries in the game, right? So what we can do, we can make that work in the script. Let's go back to our script. And we'll say on collision enter. Oh, I need to add a collider. Let's add a collider to this object. So we'll say, grab this, add a box collider. All right, easy enough. So in my on collision enter 2D, I can say, oh, what did I name it? It's just called end. Let's rename it to literally just end. All right. If collision.gameObject.name equals end, then we're going to check to see if batteries is equal to 5. If they are, oh, I need double equals. So if my batteries are equal to 5, then I will put in code to go to next level. Okay. If not, then nothing will happen, right? So that's a way for me to check to see if batteries or if I can go to the next level. But maybe you want to write a little script to change the sprite so that it's if batteries is green or if batteries is 5, then it changes to green to tell me that I can go to the next level, right? So let's see, how would I do that? Well, that would be on the machine itself. So that's something I'm not going to worry about right now. But again, these are the kinds of things that you want to start thinking about for your game. Specifically for your game, these are the things that are going to apply. So let's see. I'm trying to see what else I need to cover before I let you guys go crazy. Again, user interface, sound effects, all that stuff we've covered before. Background music, we've covered all of that. Next level, all that we've covered, like how to go to the next level. I would like to see a main menu. So that's something you're probably going to want to do. Let's talk about enemies, because I know some of you are going to have enemies that want to walk back and forth on your thing, in your game. I'm going to just drag an enemy in here. Now mine are going to be spikes, so they're going to be completely stationary. But I can kind of give you the rundown of how we would make an enemy move back and forth. Oh, I've got to update the sprite stuff. 32 by 32. Turn off the filter. Oh, and turn off the compression. And hit apply. All right. So let's say we have our enemy here, right? What we can do is we can create two empty objects. So let's create an empty object and another empty object. We'll call this right. And we will call this one left. And for the right object, let's go ahead and give it a, I don't know, a green diamond or a green bubble, right? And because they're children of the enemy, we can move it out to about there. Let's say 2. And for the left, we'll give that one a yellow bubble and we'll move it -2. So these positions are going to be relative. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm realizing that if I do that, when they move, the positions are going to move as well. So maybe that's not the smart way to do it. Let's say, let's make these not a child of the enemy object. Okay. All right. So what we can do is we can have a script that basically says that it's going to start moving your enemy in this direction. When it hits this point, when it hits right, we can add a little collision bubble, a little box collider. When it hits this box collider, and we're actually going to make it a trigger, when it hits this trigger, it's going to turn around and go back the other direction. And when it hits this trigger, it's going to turn around and go back the other direction, right? Now to reverse movement in Unity, it's actually pretty easy. Let's go ahead and create a movement script. So C sharp, enemy, we'll just call it enemy. We'll handle its basic movement for now. And open. Open sesame. There we go. So we're going to need a move speed. We'll set it to 2F. We're going to need a reference to the rigid body. So rigid body 2D. Oh. We'll call it enemy equals why is that? Oh, because it's the same as the enclosing type. We'll call it enemy body. We can't name it enemy because the script is already named enemy. All right. Then we'll say enemy body equals get component rigid body 2D. Okay. All right. Now, oh, and we want to start it moving to the right. So enemy body dot velocity is going to... No, let's do that. Let's not do that in the start method. Oh yeah, we'll do that. Equals new vector 2. So we'll need an x value and then a y. Let's say x equals 1. 1 and 0. And we'll multiply this by move speed. Okay. And actually that's going to be in the up. Nah, we can do that there. Actually, no, let's move that down to the update because I'm pretty sure that's going to cause problems if it's just in the start. And this will start at it. Yeah. Okay. So the movement is going to be based off of X. Okay. Let's make this. We'll make it a public variable. Why not? Okay. So the movement is going to be 1 at the beginning. Then what we can do is we can say void on trigger enter 2D. Then what we do is we take X and multiply it by -1. Okay. So this is a very, very simple movement script. Let's go ahead and run it and see if that will work. It's not doing anything because I didn't apply the script to the character. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so let's apply the enemy script to the enemy. All right, and let's see what happens. Still not doing anything. There is no rigid body. See, I'm trying to move quickly, so I'm forgetting things. Rigid body 2D. Let's set the gravity scale to 0. Let's freeze the rotation. And now, come on, baby. I know what's going on. It doesn't have a collision. It doesn't have a collider. Okay. So we need to add a collider. Let's add a box collider 2D. There we go. So now it's working. So we have a collider, we have a rigid body, and now it's bouncing back and forth between these two objects, right? Beautiful. Now, if I wanted to change the speed, obviously I can change move speed and all that, but that's a simple way to get your characters or your enemies moving back and forth. And now that you have an enemy script, you can use this script to handle what happens if you collide with the enemy. Actually, you're probably going to want to do that in your main character script. All you would have to do is go to your character controller, and in this script where you're already checking for collision, say if collision.gameObject.tag equals enemy, then we restart the level, right? I mean, again, all of this is stuff we've done before, and I don't want to kind of retread too much territory. But yeah, you have all the pieces you need to make an interesting and fun video game. I am looking for at least 2 levels. I want a main menu and 2 levels. Okay, so you have 3 total scenes that you need to create for this project. I want to see a user interface. I want to hear some sound effects. I want to see an enemy. I want to see some collectible. I want to see an end state so you can move on to the next level. There's quite a bit to do there. Now, I'm almost to my 20-minute mark, but I do want to, you know what? I'm going to make a different video for that. Yeah. So in the next video, I'm going to cover how to publish your game once it's completely finished. Once you're happy with your game and you're absolutely like satisfied with how it works, I'm going to show you how to publish your game. So that's what we'll cover in the next video. Until then, see you guys later.